Hi Dione, can you tell us briefly what you do?
Hi, I'm the founder of a project called Jail Time Records. It's a musical project and audiovisual project aimed for the reinsertion of prisoners. And we founded the first recording studio inside an African prison in Cameroon, in the central prison of Douala. So we produce incarcerated artists and formerly incarcerated artists. We've created the platform for exposition for their music. We do video clips to promote their work, and we also built a studio outside the prison to work with the artists once they leave prison.
How the concept of spatial justice is concretely reflected in your activity and actions? What are the needs of the territory and organization?
So in Cameroon, there's very little work done for the social reinsertion of prisoners. There's hardly any programs inside the prison, and there definitely is almost no program that deals with art. So it was something that's very needed. Also, the society in Cameroon is very interested, and there's a lot of activities that deal with music, but there was nothing inside the prison. So it was really something that was missing, and so a group of creatives basically got the inspiration to create this project.
Do you know of any practices in which the artistic and cultural dimension has enabled communities to reclaim their space? How can artistic and cultural practices be an engine for sustainable development?
So I think Jail Time Record is a good example as an artistic and cultural project that has reclaimed some kind of space. It might be a physical space like the studio space, but it's also a kind of mental space and conceptual space where actually people are given the chance to express themselves and to have voices heard that are very seldom heard, like the voices of people enduring incarceration. And we also have claimed the physical space inside a really overpopulated prison. We managed to create a small studio, and we also appropriated ourselves of the space outside the prison. And so I think we actually really believe that this kind of work can be very instrumental both for personal and therefore also for like social change in society.
Regarding the repression of space from a cultural, economic, and social point of view, what are the difficulties encountered and what is the relationship between citizens and institutions in the practice of repression?
I think basically we've struggled mainly with funding and also having our ideas kind of accepted on a larger scale. For example, the prison authorities were very happy to implement our project on the scale of the prison, but it would have been impossible to do this project if we had actually asked the permission and looked to do it through the Ministry of Justice. So it kind of works on a more local scale, but not on a higher institutional level, as well as I think like because we were all artists and the people who funded the project and work on the project are artists, and we don't really have the instruments of knowing how to write projects and proposals or to look for funding. It's very difficult to kind of getting any attention and managing to receive funding. So it's mainly done on a volunteer basis.
Solidarity and a sense of belonging have often been objectives of educational and arts paths. Could you please provide us examples of and practices of this concept?
So a lot of Cameroonian and also international individuals and sometimes organizations have reached out to us because they admire the work we're doing, and every person tries to give what they, something that they are capable of, and especially in Cameroon, because there's this kind of empathy with the situation of prisoners, it's been quite felt. So mainly like artists offering to kind of collaborate or donations of musical material, and kind of some practical things like that.
Do you know other experiences outside your country that you would like to involve in this set of interviews?
I think there's a really interesting project in Colombia, for example. It's called El Colegio del Cuerpo, and it's a dance school and it's also a dance company that's been quite received quite a bit of attention, like they tour internationally. And the school is actually open to unprivileged youths that want to learn and practice contemporary dance. And the fundamental concept behind the school is actually to change the perspective of how the body is lived in Colombia, seen especially through all of the years of conflict and violence. And I think it's a really beautiful project. It's a social project. There's another few projects like in Africa. There's one in Democratic Republic of Congo as well. That's called the Kinak Festival, and it's an urban intervention that tries to raise awareness about environmental and social issues, and creates events in the poorest neighborhoods of Kinshasa.
Empereur, Quanta Latino 001, Patrick King, in danger. Jimal on the way, Jimal on the way, Jimal on the way, Jimal on the wrong, Jimal on the way, Jimal on the wrong, Jimal on the way, 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 Jimal on the wrong, Jimal on the way, Jimal on the wrong, Jimal on the way, Jimal on the way. I'm